Hello and welcome back to the Pub Test Podcast. I'm your host Fletcher. Alongside we've got Tommy C.
Hi.
This podcast we just chat about footy and other sports, but at the moment it's just footy.
Yes, I think basketball is severely on the back burner, but I'm so keen fantasy. I've already started watching. Yeah. I've already started watching videos, Fletch. I've got a list here. I don't want to say this because
it's a big podcast.
A whole league listens, but I've already got a note here saying videos to watch before our draft. So I don't want to watch them now because it's still 2 months away. But I've got videos to watch when the draft comes along.
It'll come around quickly. What pick? Just a quick, because we've got a massive podcast to get through.
Yeah,
just quickly, what pick do you want if you go with the number one draft pick?
Top 4 pick. I think last year, because Will won the first one, we thought middle to the back was the way to go.
Yep.
And I picked pick 8, which was middle back, which is exactly what I wanted. And it didn't work well for me, even though I had KD, who was good.
A lot of injuries. You've good roster, just a lot of injuries.
I was say it was weird. When I had no injuries, my team underperformed, and then when they started performing, that's when the injuries came. It was like I didn't bank the win dearly. My team were healthy because everyone gets unhealthy at some point. And then when my team started performing really well, and I was like winning games despite injuries, my injuries just affected me too much. KD missed a bunch of games, but yes, I'm so excited for NBA fantasy. It's still like 2 months away, but
love it. We got a massive pod to get through. AFL has rocked the boat, and we'll start with my dogs. I think this could go for 20 minutes, this list a little bit here.
Yeah, but just a reminder, we do have a lot of things to cover, so you can't afford to talk for 10 minutes here, as much as you probably want to. We do have a lot of things to cover, but I'm going to give you the floor.
Oh, shit, where do I start? So, they lost to West Coast for 7 points, but 30-point lead to West Coast early in the first quarter, and then we kind of hunt them down, but West Coast always there, and deservedly so won this game. They all, to overview, we're going to start with the game. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm going through here. They went corridor no matter what, West Coast. Every time looks for corridor. They had 2 turnovers that directly turned into goals for the Dogs. A mark, overlap handball, and literally handballed into their shoelaces. Dogs picked up and kicked a goal inside the defensive 50. So this 7-point loss, really 2 direct goals straight to the Dogs. So it could be every bit of a 20-point loss, really 19, 20-point loss. Really, but they were committed to a plan all day long and stuck at it, and good on them. And the Dogs made them look fucking like they're not a Premiership side, but the Dogs made them look a lot better than what they were because it was easy for them. And that's probably the biggest thing about the Dogs all year. It's easy to play against the Bulldogs. I bag St Kilda a lot about not having the top end talent, but they're hard to play against. You know what they're going to get. You know that there's going to be effort and intensity. There is effort and intensity for the Dogs, but you know that the system and structure is going to be set up behind the ball, and it's going to be difficult to... You're going to have to make magic or freaking find some luck to get the ball against St Kilda. Get it through against St Kilda. Dogs, it's easy peasy. It just walks through this football side, and it was shown on the weekend again that you just can walk the ball through. And I guess I'll hand over the mic a little. I got more to say, but just change some voice for a little while.
Yeah, look, I didn't watch this game, but I've obviously heard the backlash. I mean, it sounds like Dog season. You've had such amazing victories. Like didn't you beat Brisbane early in the year?
Yeah,
you've had some big wins
3.
early in the year, really early. But we talked about things last week. Dogs have only won 4 of the last 12 or something, and they're 4 sides that are well and truly below them the ladder.
Yep.
Essendon, Richmond, and then the 2 easy ones. Or at least I think it was North was one, and they're all easy games.
It was North. They were competitive in that spirit there. They were competitive against Collingwood, fairly competitive against Collingwood.
They were,
and
for sure.
Fairly competitive against Port Adelaide. But post that, since 4 weeks ago, it has been an absolute disaster.
It absolutely has. Yeah, I mean, by all means.
And considering the first 2 rounds, Melbourne and St Kilda, where you wouldn't even know the side. I mean, this season has. I reckon they're the most disappointing team this year, easily, hands down, including West Coast.
Dogs.
Yeah,
the whole competition.
Genuinely, yeah.
Wow, that's a big call.
They've just lost to the team that almost got 200 points kicked against them. Lost by 100 points last week.
And I had the Dogs surging for the 4, but the Dogs finished...
Yep.
What did they finish last year?
8? 7, and they played Fremont.
Freo, yeah, they played Freo.
7.
And they choked that 5-goal lead.
Yeah, choked the 5-goal lead.
So they've gone from 7th to 9th? So like,
yeah, and they could be finishing 11th. That's a predicted position they'll finish this year.
So it's been really disappointing. I had Dogs pushing for the 4. I don't think I had them in the 4, but I had them in the 8 for sure.
Yeah.
I think I had them 8th, actually. I think I had them 8th. But Dogs' list is way too good to be like that. They should be playing finals.
And I've heard some things that it's not. But Tim English had 51 hit outs. I know the ruckman is the West Coast run to fill in. But 51 hit outs, 21 disposals a goal. Bont 31 disposals, 10 tackles and a goal. Treloar 32 disposals, 14 tackles and a goal. I mean, if you can't win off the back of that, seriously, what is going on? You got 3 players putting up absolute stats, and I know stats don't always translate, but they're all game long. They're consistent. You got the rest of the team that's not a consistent. Like, how can you not score off that? They won contested ball, they won stoppages, so there's more inside 50s for the Dogs, and yet the Eagles score more points.
There was 25 scoring shots, 22, but from what I've heard, again, I was umpiring, so I didn't get to watch the game. But I've heard Tim Kelly did whatever the hell he wanted.
Yep. No one went near him.
I heard McGovern would have been the best player on the ground if he didn't miss a quarter because of injury.
Yep.
Apparently would have been the best player on the ground. I think the Tim Kelly one is alarming because surely he put someone on him. And you don't have a tagger. Someone just to run with him. Do something. Bailey Smith, you've done nothing all year. Half the reason because Dogs kind of frozen you out. Just run with him. And just make him make every touch at least semi-contested. Apparently did what he wanted.
Yep, totally.
So, and Bailey Williams had an underrated years of ruck, but Tim English is still Australian ruck. And 50-something hit outs should be... What were the clearances?
We won it, but not by much. Only just one.
Dogs was... Actually, no, you did. You lost them.
Lost it?
By 3. Dogs. It's proven fact now that the Dogs don't win the clearance by a lot. They don't win.
Yep.
Like I think the biggest one that I remember is the Giants one, where the first half Dogs dominated the clearance. All the Giants had to do was halve them, and that's all they did. I think Dogs won the clearances by 2 in the second half, and the Giants whacked them. So if Dogs don't win the clearance by 10, they don't win.
You brought up Baz there, wanting to play more midfield time. He played 70% midfield time.
He's leaving. He's leaving. I'm convinced he'll go Geelong.
I don't really care, to be honest with you. He played 70% midfield time on the weekend.
Care.
He exited front of stoppage twice out of a 6v6. Just goals just been kicked, centre bounce. Exited front of stoppage twice and missed his leading forward by genuinely 25 metres.
He's a butcher.
You would have thought someone was leading behind the person. He missed it by that much. If you want midfield time, show me why you deserve some midfield.
He's a butcher.
This is not just at him. This is at Alice Keith, Rory Lobb, Cody Waitman. Show me what you can do consistently. Show up constantly because there's a lot of asking and a lot of wanting, but not many people are showing what they can do and how they can do it. Now, I will maybe put that on the coach. I will put that on the coach, 100%. Inconsistent game plan has been talked about that it's just changing and players are voicing frustration that they're not really sure week to week what's going to come about or how they're going to be wanted to be played.
Yep.
So that definitely doesn't help. But I just don't see the effort and intensity, same as like the St Kilda example. They don't have the talent, but yet they're there. They're always in position. They're always in front of the ball instead of getting caught out behind. I saw multiple times people try and hand over players from the mark. Baz did a couple of times, but a lot of them just the person on the mark. You take the person running behind, I'll go on the mark. And they don't end up doing it. And then it's such a you go do my work for me. You do the running for me. That's not what a team does. So, I think there's a lot of people that are just playing for themselves. And to be fair, when things start going pear-shaped, you do start looking inwards and start saying, oh, I've got to hold my spot here. And maybe through selection of Beveridge, what he's been doing, maybe people are starting to kick a goal instead of giving it off because it's better because they'll keep their spot. So it's a very interesting debate.
I know we got to move on, so I'll keep this really quick. But I think in the Supercoach world, we call it Bevo salad because we just don't know. We have absolutely... It seems like he throws the magnets up in the air and wherever it lands, what happens? Like Caleb Daniel, there was a period, again, I use Supercoach a lot, but there's a period he's having 32 touches, 28 touches.
Yep.
Like consistent in the 25, 35, 30. And then out of absolutely nowhere, loses his position in the midfield and goes to 18, 13, 12. Like,
yeah,
it's just... I think players are scared because they're just thrown they're thrown to positions randomly. So it's almost like, so I got to get my own stats here so I don't lose my spot, because like McRae got subbed out tactically. Yeah. He is a player that you've locked in the midfield 25 a game for the last 5 years, and he's getting subbed out. So I think a lot of it has to be put on Bevo. It's hard because maybe Bevo might rebut saying, well, I have to do this because there's certain weaknesses. It's just changing too much. Bailey Smith doesn't know his role because his role changes every week.
Yep, totally agree.
So
there's two things I want to add on that. Vice captain curse. Don't become the vice captain of the Bulldogs. So Easton Wood, probably about 2020, was a vice captain. Hamstring, out of the side, retired. Mitch Wallace, vice captain, 2 years, dropped in his second game as vice captain. Dropped and never really made a return. In his second year, he got injured a lot, and then last year just not offered a contract.
Wow.
And then this year, now this is McRae's second year as vice captain, has now fallen to 13 touches and been omitted, and he's now gone out with concussion and not playing next week. But rumours was he was almost left out of the team last week. Left out of the game.
It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Like, I don't get it. And we could do a whole podcast on the Doggies, so we'll have to move on. But it's bizarre. And our Dogs don't just, like, do you want the Dogs even playing finals? Because I think if they play the Carlton first week of final, they're going to lose by 10 goals.
There's nothing good about it. I think there'll be change no matter what. They're on the seesaw. This is probably the last. They're on the seesaw of either crashing and burning and being down the bottom again, or propping it up and getting somewhere near the top four next year.
They're best in for this finals this year. Could win a game or two, but the way they're playing now, Carlton would touch them up.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, anyone would touch them. They lost Eagles. Anyone would touch them up.
It's the only one that St Kilda's the only one that, just because they're defensive St Kilda are, you might say it's
in finals. Maybe.
So do you still want to play finals? Because it could be a bit of a false narrative if you lose.
I don't care if we play finals. To be honest, let's be honest, we're not going to make an impact in finals. So I don't really care if we play finals.
Because you'll lose anyway.
I just want some change in the off season. I want the three pillars of your club, which is your CEO, captain, and coach, all to be on the same page. The coach and CEO are not, and this is a wrecking ball if they don't get. And they're two stubborn people. Yep. They're two very stubborn people. If they don't get on the same page, this is absolutely a wrecking ball for the Western Football Club.
One word. Bevo coach next year, yes, no?
Yes. Can't pay him out. Don't have the cash.
Fair enough. All right.
But should he?
Oh.
Then that's a debate.
Okay. And that's a debate that we can't have now because it'll go too long.
And I don't even know the answer, to be honest with you. So, yeah, we have to kind of keep it there. Essendon. We don't have winners or losers this week.
There's too many news stories.
There's too many news stories, and there's not really that many good winners. We've just gone with losers. Essendon's the other one. It's a big loss. It's a big loss.
It's the fifth biggest loss ever.
126 points. Gave up 162 points. And to be honest with you, I watched this game. Genuine training drill for GWS.
You watched this game? See, I watched on Matilda. So
Harry Himmelberg. I didn't. I flicked over between the two, but I did watch more of the GWS game. Harry Himmelberg ran behind someone at the 50-metre arc who's got a mark at the 50-metre, and he handballed it to Harry Himmelberg, and Harry Himmelberg ran to 45 and kicked the goal. That summed up the pressure that Essendon gave. And apart from the person on the mark, there was not another Essendon player in sight or even running at them. It was, I don't know if they're young bodies and they've just got tired, but there was generally no pressure for GWS, and it was a training drill.
It was. And it seems like Essendon just burnt out, which is a strange one. I think the alarm bells ringing when Brad Scott said 3 weeks ago the season's too long. Like, the season ended that day, it was still in round 20. Every season's at around 20 to the end of time. But
is that a question?
Pardon? No. Brad Scott said in the press conference that the season is too long and they hit a wall. But he said after round 20. Every season has a round 20. So why were they burnt out then? It's around 20.
What do you reckon the narrative is? The season too long, or you reckon this is just being played into this sort of just making an excuse for the moment?
No, it's not too long. And it was a cop out when he said it, because he said the season was still 3 weeks left. Every season, it wasn't like if he said it this week, I'd get it, because the season hasn't had around 24 in a long time. I can't remember last time season had 24 rounds. But he said it around 20, Fletch.
I know,
but they've hit a wall. They're tired.
Everyone's playing 24 rounds.
Correct. Okay, you're right. Exactly right. So they're have checked out, and they can't. They mathematically chance, but I think they've been by 200 points, and then both
percentages.
They're like 92%. Like they're no chance. But
this is one thing with these losses here when you give up 50 odd points before you even score or something like that. Leadership is big. Now, apart
65 to 9 or something.
Apart from Zach Merritt, name me someone. You could probably do this with the Bulldogs too. Name me someone that is a leader in their football club, apart from Dyson Heppel and Zach Merritt.
You'd want to say like a Redmond, but he apparently he's dropped off his contract.
He has, but there wasn't enough of them to turn that game around and really put the fight in. If you know what I mean, like it was Zach Merritt getting a clearance and that was it. And I know it's a bit harsh because they're younger, but 126 points was demolishing.
It's not harsh, Fletch. They were playing for a final spot. They were playing. It was an 8-point game. Giants are competing for the same spot.
Yeah,
it's not harsh. That's terrible.
And it maybe gives the false hope at the start of the year of what their list really was too. Maybe it's a bit of they're coming back to home and really coming back to where they were. That could be a bit more of a fair assessment of where.
Yeah.
But 126 points is a lot. All right. Is that enough to talk about them? We've got some news. No winners this week. I do have to mention, I wasn't watching the Dogs game the last quarter.
Yes.
Number one, because I would have pulled my header. Number two, watching the grand final. Diamond Creek won the grand final.
Yes. The 17 Blue, your
girlfriend's
brother, Liam Farah, who, what's his space AFL player?
Nah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, but
he's trash.
He got best.
He didn't get best on.
Well, he got the Diamond Creek coaches gave him best on the website.
Oh, he wasn't bad. It was a demolition. It was a demolition.
Yeah, which is surprising because I had that very game 2 weeks ago. And Liam wasn't playing, which is a big difference, but it was like 6 points that day.
Yeah, there was 3 players that came back.
And yes, I think that's what. Yeah, but I think Steve did warn me about that. But yeah, wow, it was like 70 points something.
I think it was
60 something points.
I think it was about 90.
It was 1-0 something to 27. So that's
maybe. And they kicked 3 goals in the first. They kicked 3 goals in the first half. The other team, and it was only from 50-meter penalties.
They kicked 4 for the game.
Yeah, so it wasn't great. But good on them. Oh, that's why I was watching that. So it was good distraction. So I wasn't killing myself. Some news.
Yes.
Crom goal review.
Oh,
You're an umpire here. We've got multiple questions to work through here. So we'll start at the top. The procedure. I think the biggest thing is the procedure, in my opinion. Is it the goal umpire's fault? Is it the field umpire's fault? Or is the procedure just broken?
Well, I'll rule out the field umpire. Not his fault.
And leave out the fact that there may be a rule change later. We're not talking about what could happen in the future.
Just right now.
What right now?
We'll rule out the field umpire. He can't change goal umpire's decision.
He can't stop the game, though?
He can't call score reviews up to the goal umpire.
Okay.
No, so it's not his fault. Only thing the field umpire can influence is touched. So like if a touch off the boot.
Yep. Okay.
So not field umpire's fault. What is now? Firstly, I hope the goal umpire's all right because he's been dropped. That was brutal from AFL coming out saying he's been dropped. He won't umpire the rest of the season.
Probably should start there. Totally agree.
That's brutal.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's sort of stiff. He deserves to be dropped this week, but for the AFL to come out and say not one for the rest of the season, that's brutal.
It is one mistake. I know it's a big mistake, but it's one mistake.
It's brutal.
How many holding the balls miss? How many?
It's stiff.
It's
deserves to be dropped, but they don't have to come out and say you're not umpire the rest of the season.
Pretty
stiff.
Public too.
It's stiff.
It's
stiff. But anyway, he should have called goal review. Like the amount of times this year we've seen ones that are really obvious be reviewed just to be safe. Why not now? No, thing it's a hard one because we've lauded goal umpires that have backed themselves.
Yep.
Because especially the first half of the year, they reviewed everything, and we're like, "Fucking hell!" It's obvious. So whenever a goal umpire's not done that, we've been like, "Well done, good on you."
Yeah.
And now umpire doesn't do it, and we're complaining.
Yep.
It just looks so close. It looked so close, and I think it's not negotiable. You review it, but I do get. Because the flow of the game is affected by... Let's say that it gets reviewed and it takes a long time. It affects the game.
Totally affects the game. But how often do you see the commentators or... commentators have an influence when they go watch the game back. Here, why are we reviewing this? What are we going on here? How often do they get bagged for reviewing? So, in that moment, I can understand why he didn't review. He clearly thought that it didn't hit the that it hit the post. Then you can understand why he's so confident in what the reason why he didn't go upstairs. The other thing is Callum Mills' hand hit the post. Did that kind of make a noise? And he think he heard a ding. I know hitting the padding and hitting the post is two different sounds, but maybe just that sound of reference. To be fair, there's fans cheering, so maybe you didn't hear.
I think that's a very viable. I think that's a very viable thing to.
It's an element to add.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Moving. So we're not should have reviewed. That's what we're getting at here. Should have reviewed, but
yes,
you can,
should have reviewed.
It's tough.
Feel bad because it costs Adelaide finals. They win that, they play finals.
How much do you put? Yeah, it's definitely down to that decision. But at the same time, they shouldn't have been down 40. How many games during the year have they lost where you sit there and say like, well, you should have won those games? There was half a dozen games for Adelaide where they have had the game in their destiny or in their control.
They should have been one of those games against Collingwood. Should have won at least.
Yeah, but the umpiring is Jordan Dawson.
But they were better than Collingwood both days. They should have won one of those. They kicked themselves out of a number of games
early
in the year. But that decision, it cost them finals. But yeah, at the same time,
they haven't helped themselves.
No, they haven't.
They're looking at the 1%. Do you think they should bring in a system like the rugby and like the soccer where the game just goes on and then they review it and then it goes back?
No.
Because I like it in theory.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me it's like a 2-minute review, the ball's gone around 2 or 3 times, another goal's been kicked.
Yeah.
How do you bring it back?
No, you can't. No, it wouldn't. It'd never work. It'd never work because you're right. If it was like a 10-second review,
yeah,
like the soccer. So what happens with the soccer is VAR. They if there's a potential penalty, they'll keep playing till the ball goes out and then they'll stop. That's all right. But AFL, too many things can happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So no, I get
Teams
it.
would also go long. Would just go long down the middle, just trying to get a point. Because then you can't reverse that point and make a goal.
That's what happens once it's a point. Like, 'cause the chance of a goal in soccer is so rare. Like I've never seen a goal get scored and then they bring it back. And like it doesn't go that long.
Yeah.
But AFL is a chance that a score can happen.
Yeah.
So no, it would never work.
In theory I like it, but it's not going to work, is it at all? Crows, do you reckon they should be able to like, what's the word? Protest this, or nothing can really change?
They tried. I believe they said they tried, but the fact there's still 71 seconds left. It was like 15 seconds left that I have a leg to stand on. But Sydney could just say, "Well, what if we score? The ball's in the middle of the ground.
That's
we
right.
just score." There's 70 seconds left. But I saw something came out today, and it must have been fake. That there was some post that Channel 7 put up for a moment, then they deleted it, but someone caught it. That the game was getting replayed.
Nah, it's
behind
fake.
It is fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
But imagine that behind closed doors, a minute game. Imagine that.
That's fake.
It's obviously fake, but imagine that.
That'd be hilarious. It wouldn't be behind closed doors. That would be on TV, and money would be poured in.
But no one's going for a minute, Fletch.
Yeah, but on TV, the amount of ads that they could play in that minute, they could make some
TV
money.
would make some money, yeah. Because everyone, just the intrigue, you'd have randoms tuning in. But
would you take it from where Ben Keys, like you take it from the centre bounce?
You have to be.
And then 70 seconds.
Because they're saying kick the goal, they're reversing the decision, so it'd have to be.
So centre bounce, and then go from there.
70 centre bounce, a minute 11 on the clock. Jeepers, that'd be, you wouldn't get fans buy tickets. You maybe get fans coming free.
I reckon, LA would definitely buy tickets. And
no one's paying tickets for a minute, Fletch.
I reckon people pay
minute.
like a gold coin donation.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. A 1 minute, $1 coin for how many minutes you're watching.
God, everyone fresh going at it. Imagine that.
Especially because because Adelaide will win this week. That minute would be for a final spot. Like that, it'd be off chops Adelaide if that. So if that's playing for a final spot, you might actually get a few people there.
You could train so well for that. That's such a set play straight away.
You literally spend all week just doing minute drills. So go again, go again, do it again, run it back,
run it back,
do it again. But yeah, but it would never happen. But that's so cool to think about anyway.
That'd be so funny if you just brought everyone back on the floor.
Yeah.
Come out here. All right, move on. How'd you say about that?
Yep.
Were you happy with that?
Yeah, I am.
Stuff the Crows?
We said better.
Best meme cut resurfaced. That's the only thing I know.
What?
The Adelaide guy. They got robbed today. I can't believe what I've seen with my own eyes. That's funny as fuck. Dimmer 6 years, GWS. No, GWS. Gold Coast. The worst kept secret ever.
Yeah.
Good day for Gold Coast.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to happen, but it's what they needed. They're too good to be. They're so middle of the road. They're too good to be that. They should be playing for finals.
Do you believe his comments that the 80% of the next premiership is in the room?
80 is a big number, but I think a fair amount because they're pretty young, Fletch.
Yeah, I know. I just
80 is a big number. But
it's a bold statement.
It is, but
you can't lose from here.
But Dimmer's so good. They needed this. When you're stuck with you need to bring in someone good. So they've brought in one of the best coaches of the modern era. So, what I will say is, I'm not sure if you're going to mention it, Dusty cannot go. They have just jumped off Jack Bowes' terrible contract. They cannot afford to bring in another one.
Yeah, but Dusty's different to Jack Bowes.
Jack Bowes is like mid-20s. Dusty's 32, Fletch.
Yeah, but
I'd argue it's worse.
Dusty's literally Richmond's best player right now.
No, he's not.
Yes,
he's not.
Have you watched him for the last month?
He
is easily being the best player.
The biggest butcher in the AFL Toronto ahead of him.
Did you watch the game on the weekend?
I know Dusty's improved back after the year, but
he's
a 32-year-old going to the Gold Coast where he'd probably party and do a lot of nose beers on 1.3 a year Flash. Not a chance. And Richmond will not pay some of his salary, and Gold Coast will not. No.
He's not going there this year. I can see.
It sounds cool in theory, but
it sounds cool.
It sounds cool, just Dimmer's one that bred Dusty, almost like his son.
That's a little weird.
But no, they just got rid of Bowes' terrible contract. I know Dusty's a different animal.
He won't go this off season. I'd be shocked if he did, but I can see. Yeah, but he's got one more year left on his deal, and that's reportedly 1.4 to 1.5 next year. So he's not going next year, but the year after that, there is a chance. I reckon he could be up there, but it's literally like a 10% chance. I don't see it happening at all. He would look wrong, not in Richmond colours, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're right for sure.
Dimmer 6 years, it's got to work, in my opinion. I have nothing wrong with giving a long-term deal because he's a proven coach, but him talking about if they don't make finals for like next year and the year after, there's gonna be some serious heat around there.
By their second year, they have to make finals.
Like minimum second year.
Yeah.
Because even the way they're talking about really next year they should be making finals, and we've already looked at how many teams could make finals next year and should make finals next year, and it's like 12 teams, and I didn't even include them in there. So if you want to include that, it's like 13 teams that should make finals, which is only 8. 8 into 13 doesn't really work. So yeah, it's a ballsy move, I think.
Yeah.
But they need to do it. Adam Simpson is pretty much on his way out and did a beautiful job on the way. Lost some #1 draft pick.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. I wonder where he'll be next year. Hopefully the Dogs make a play on him.
Year off, but he's again such a good coach. He has to coach again.
Yeah, he'll be somewhere. He'll be in the system somewhere. I wonder who will get the job for West Coast. I think some people will take the job, but apparently Dean Cox will not be taking the job.
Yes.
I want to ask you about Collingwood's best mix. Now, their forward mix, we're talking about here. We're not talking about the whole roster. I'm just talking about their, not 6 forwards, because I'm not counting the talls. I'm not talking, what's his name? Not Billy Frampton. Checkers and...
Well,
who's it?
Cox.
No, from Brisbane.
Oh, Frampton's been playing defence. Oh,
McStay. Those two are just locks. Yeah. But I'm talking about your small crew.
Yeah.
Your pockets and your half-forward flanks that turn into midfielders.
Yeah, I'm getting Collingwood's goals up to help with this discussion. So
okay, I'll list a few names. I want to know who's the best mix because we haven't seen it yet. There've been injuries, they've been in and out. Mm-hmm. They haven't been in and out through form, but they've almost been all in form that you have to play them all.
We've never had them all at once. It seems there's always been missing.
So McCurry, Pat Lipinski, Jack Ginnivan, Taylor Adams, Bobby Hill, Jordan DeGoey, Nick Dacos. I know is prominently midfield, but has been spotted in the forward line more as an aggressive mid than anything. Am I missing any here? That's about it, I think.
So,
how are you fitting those 6 in there?
Okay.
Or how are you fitting the 6 you want? What 6 do you reckon they will go with?
It's been easier to fit them in the last few weeks because Dacos has been out. So Adams has just gone from mid forward to just mid. Mm-hmm. hasn't played as much forward. Whereas first half of the year, Adams has played almost like
Pure forward.
basically more forward than mid. Now it's been more mid than forward. So as always, it's been easy to fit him in. So it's easy to fit everyone else in. So you've always had Ginnivan out because of it. And then when Ginnivan came in, it was because Hill was out. Really tricky. It's because I've liked Ginnivan upon his return. I've liked it. And I'm concerned that we'll play Cox. I'm worried about that because he looked good when he came on against the Lions. He definitely gave us that spark in the third quarter. And I know you need big forwards. You need big forwards in big finals to take big marks. But McStay, for me, three's too many. I agree.
Dogs, 3.
So I think you got to almost play 2 of them. And McStay and might actually pick himself. So I hope we don't pick Cox. And I do hope we can have a small forward line of Elliott. Well, Elliott's kind of mid forward. But
he's a wannabe tall forward.
Yeah, Hill, Guinea, and McCreary. So I'd rather not have Adams, to be honest. But
he'll play.
He will play. So I'm still concerned that Guinea will be the sub in the first final. I reckon he'll lose his spot. That's what I'm worried about.
The sub. Yeah, probably sub.
So
he's a good sub.
Yeah, he's a good sub. But I've liked him in a few games back. His pressure's been good. And Collingwood needs to keep that pressure. Because I thought pressure was good against Brisbane. And I thought it was good against Geelong. But it was lacking in the previous 2 games. So, yeah, it's really hard to tell because you're right. We've got so many guys that play mid-forward. Lipinski's a wing forward. Adams is a mid forward. It's so hard to work out in my head. So that's why I can't give you 6 players because we have 8. We have 6 mid. We have 6 guys running through those as small forwards. But I think for me, I'd love to see Hill, McCreary, and Guinea in the same team. But I've got a feeling it'll be McCreary and Hill with Ginnivan the sub.
Yeah, I don't see it working as you said there.
If Cox players were cooked, I love Cox. But no.
Even with Howe on the half forward, you forget about that. Because Degoja to come into the side and he'll probably play his mid, but he rests half forward.
Not anymore. He plays pure mid now. He doesn't play forward anymore. Pure mid. He doesn't touch the forward line anymore.
So Taylor Adams need to come out of that.
He has to because...
Or Jack Cripps go to half back.
I think Crisp will probably replace Dacos. So Crisp will go to half back and Dacos will come in. But
if you're picking Tom Mitchell or Taylor Adams, who are you picking?
They're both the same. They're both slow.
I know, but I think that could be that is kind of the tipping point.
I still think Mitchell... I was interested to see that Mitchell played a little bit of it wasn't a tagging role, but he kind of just sat with Neil or done 3 stoppages. I did not mind seeing that. Neil also had a very, very good game, so I don't know how effective it was. But I don't mind seeing that. I wonder if he does this week. They've got Parrish and Merritt. I want to see if he does it this week. But I like Howe forward because Andrews did not have many set marks. So while Howe didn't touch the ball much himself, he's there just to make contest. Aaron Andrews had 2 touches half time. His first inset mark came in the third quarter. So I don't mind. So you look, first final is every chance Howe plays on lever. First final. I think he will play on lever the first final.
Feeding him. Yeah.
So I like that. So which means there's, again, as you said, there's one less spot again to put in that forward line. So for me, I can't see Ginnivan, Creary, and Hill on the same team, but I wish it could.
Does Hoskin Elliott get a game, you reckon? Because he's on a wing here.
I don't like him, but
but he gets a game regularly, doesn't he?
No, I don't like him very much.
I'm just trying to think about another. If you could chuck him on a wing, but they're not a true winger.
Hoskin Elliott plays wing.
That's what I mean. If you go Hoskin out,
someone like a.
Well, side bottom goes on wing.
It'd be probably side bottom Lipinski on the 2 wings.
Josh Dacos.
Oh yeah, Dacos on the side bottom. Lipinski's probably the rest rotates on the wing.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I don't want Hoskin Elliott, but he can be versatile. He can go forward and go back. And what's his name like? Fly likes him. So yeah, it is an issue that.
It's interesting you haven't found your mix. You haven't found your best mix. It's very interesting.
It's the wrong time of the year to be doing this.
Yeah.
I hate that. We have to defy odds to win this flag now.
Because of the bloody...
No side's lost more than 2 games. We've lost 3.
Oh, God.
But, yeah. So we'll see. But it's so hard to tell. It's so hard.
Brisbane look good. You can't take away much.
No, absolutely. Brisbane were good. Brisbane were absolutely good. We were right for the picking with all our injuries, but Brisbane look good. I can't believe how good their record is at Marvel. Or Marvel, yeah. It's ridiculous. It's like 7-1, Fletch.
I know.
They're 1-13 at the G and 8-1 at Marvel.
You said Melbourne last week. It's just MCG.
It's just a G.
I can't deal with the G. I can't deal with the big expanses.
But yeah, I want to ask you a question on Collingwood quickly.
Yep.
I asked you before the podcast, said don't answer it.
And I still don't really have an answer.
So, I most fear Melbourne and Carlton in the finals. It's looking like if Collingwood wins, Collingwood will play Melbourne the first final. Now, I think that's Collingwood's worst matchup. If you're saying in my shoes, a Collingwood supporter, would you rather play Melbourne? I'd say Carlton to a lesser extent because Carlton and Melbourne are in the same side of the draw. Would you rather play Melbourne the first week of finals and try and get that tough game out of the way? And if we beat Melbourne, we probably make a grand final. Or would you rather put Adelaide at the G and meet Melbourne in a prelim or grand final day?
It's a tough question.
I've been trying to decide all week. Can't decide.
I'm going to say take Melbourne early. Because the next side of that, the other side of that draw, if you beat Melbourne first week,
we'll make the grand final.
Then you literally you play Port Adelaide.
You'd play Port Adelaide at the G.
If they beat St Kilda.
I'm trying to do the maths here. Well, you might play Carlton at the G. I can't do the maths. Honestly, I have to look. But Melbourne's one I fear the most. So would you rather play them the first week or the prelim?
Well, I'd rather play him first week. Actually, no, I'd rather play him prelim, but you've got to get to the prelim without being touched. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because if you play him in the prelim, then it means like you get your injuries back. They played a couple of games. You look good, like Darcy Moore and Dacos. That could be a good situation. But at the same time, if you don't make it there, you might have to play 2 games and then play Melbourne, which is even tougher. That makes sense. You've already played back-to-back while Melbourne's got a week off, and then you've got to verse them again in the prelim to get into the grand final. So
yeah, I can't...
You'd much rather verse Port Adelaide or Carlton in the prelim than Melbourne, surely.
Yes, the Melbourne. Yeah, it's Melbourne I fear the most.
I think you want to play Melbourne first.
Just because how good they are defensively, that scares me the most.
Yeah, totally.
The thing is, Carlton number 1 defence for the last 6 weeks, so that should scare me too. I was couldn't any worse. We'll lose to Melbourne in the first week finals and then have to play Carlton, who probably wouldn't have lost for 10 weeks.
Due for a loss, apparently.
That's the question. I asked this as well. Do we want Carlton to lose this week, or do we want them to win again, and then they're due a loss in finals and they'll crash and burn in finals?
You wanted me to answer. I think once you start the finals, like as in what do we call it here? The finals. Yeah, we call it the finals. NBA cool. It's always like you start a season again. So you always just go 0-0 and you forget about what you've done all season. So it's not like, we need a lot. We're not due for a loss here. You start the season again. It's just one match to see if you can get a win it, and then you move on to next week. It's like almost starting a whole year again every week because it's just this intensity. Just focus on the one team. And you're not really focused on your game plan. You've already done that for 24 weeks. Mm-hmm. And you just focus on one team, see if you can win them, move on to the next week. So you almost forget about what's happened for the whole year. So I think it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. That's my answer.
Imagine Carlton makes the prelim. I can't do anything worse.
They're looking like that.
I'm petrified.
There's one person I'll talk about from Carlton in the finals. I can't wait to see it. Charlie Curnow. He is the reason why they won that game. 1, because of the mark, and 2, because of the fact he turned on and kicked 4 goals in the second quarter. He has been very good, but the way he's bringing his teammates into the game these days, whether it be through his foot skills in kicking the ball, or whether it be through just making a contest and providing a consistent drop zone for his smalls, has taken him to another level, along with his leadership, and he is the best player on Carlton by a country mile.
Yep.
And they've got the reigning Brownlow medalist.
Yep, I agree. And yeah, so he could be a future captain. I haven't thought about it. But apparently his leadership. I didn't watch the game again. I was unfortunately when they play. Oh yeah, I was umpiring. But yes, apparently his leadership was very, very good.
He could be a future captain, but I think with Cripper probably even younger than him, so he just doesn't get it off Cripper, does he? Like, he doesn't get off Patrick Cripps unless Patrick Cripps gets traded.
It'd be when Patrick Cripps finishes up. But
I feel like Charlie Curnow younger. I feel like Charlie Curnow is older than Patrick Cripps.
Nah, let me look.
They'd be very close in age, surely. Otherwise, I'm way off here.
I think Curnow would be like 24, 25. 26 for Curnow. Cripps would be like 28.
He's the same as Bontempelli. I think he's the same guy.
Bontempelli's 28.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure. But I know Bont's 28. So, by the way, quickly, if Collingwood beats Melbourne in the first week finals, we will dodge Melbourne and Carlton to the grand final. So, yes, well, if we play Melbourne the first week and win, we dodge both of them to the grand final.
Who do you verse then?
We'd play the other side, which is Port Adelaide, Brisbane, St Kilda, Sydney. We play that side if we win.
You're going to get Brisbane at the G too.
Correct. We play Brisbane at the G, Port Adelaide at the G, Sydney at the G, St Kilda at the G. We win all those. So I think you're right. If we beat Melbourne in the first week finals, we make the grand final.
Yeah.
Cripps is 28, so it's 2 years.
Yep.
So actually,
he won't get the captaincy just because you go to the next.
It wouldn't be.
It
wouldn't be he retire. It wouldn't be like Cripps retires. It'd have to be Cripps gives it
Get
up.
traded, yeah, or get straight. He'd have to leave.
Traded. Cripps is getting traded.
There's no way he's giving up the captaincy.
He might be a bit older and say, might be a bit like a Pendles. Pendles kind of gave it up to kind of nurture. But it's 2 years. You do that for a young captain.
If you Sam Walsh will be the next one.
Correct. You don't do that. You don't give it up early for someone too younger than you. You do it for a young guy. So no, it probably would never happen. But his leadership has come leaps and bounds.
I just can't wait to see him play with finals. It got me excited.
He'd be the top 3 most excited player to watch.
Watchable. Top 3 watchable players on the spot right now.
I'd say Toby Green, but he's not really in there. Kerno, Dacos.
I'm going Toby Green.
He might not be there. He'd be number 1 for me if he was playing.
No, not finals. Just top 3.
Toby Green, number 1.
Number 1, Toby Green, in my opinion, too. Kerno, what he can do, just incredible.
And I'm having to look at all the clubs. I can't picture in my head.
Trying to think of it. There's a lot for third.
There's someone's screaming at the TV, the music, the headphones right now.
What?
Yeah, I went blank. Someone's screaming at the podcast right now saying missing an obvious one.
I've got half a dozen names, but I can't pick one.
Would Bont be up there?
He would, but just a mid...
Jeremy Cameron?
Yeah, Jeremy Cameron.
But I feel like having 3 forwards is a bit of a cop-out.
But it is the most watchable position. When a forward's kicking 7 like Jeremy Cameron did the other, it's so good to watch. Mids can have 30 touches all they want all day.
Yeah, that's true.
Forward kicks 5 or 6, that's 20. That's
true.
Something someone else can't do.
That's true. Yeah. It's probably Green, Kerno, Cameron, I think. I'm looking at the ladder and I can't find anyone that's really obvious to me. Dusty's too old. I wouldn't say Dusty anymore. No, that's it.
All right, that's it.
Yeah,
your top 3.
There's someone probably saying something. Yeah, I'd have Dacos ahead of Cameron, but I'm biased. So
Mids are just too easy to watch. Like they're just so not bang on average, but
yeah,
the gap between you get a good forward, so much harder than get a good mid.
Okay,
those forwards we just talked about, those 3, make their team probably 30-point better teams by being there.
Yeah.
Number 1, they take the key defender, and number 2, they could kick 30 points off their own boot, just like that.
A cheeky one, Isaac Rankin. But yeah,
maybe in the future.
Within next year. Mate, his good game's been unreal.
I know, but
that's a projection one. That's a projection one.
Top 3 projections. God, no. A little shout out, actually, now we're talking about Collingwood Brisbane. I've been quite hard on Hipwood and Danaher. They've been fantastic for the last 15 rounds, and not just through kicking goals and getting stats, but being there for the teammate, being there for their long down the line kicks, doing the unselfish things. I think that's whole of Brisbane, but long down the line kicks, being predictable for their crummers, needing kicking goals when they need to, like set shots and stuff like that. They've just been really predictable to their team and unselfish. So they've come a long way, and it's probably why I trust them a bit more this year, or definitely trust them a lot more.
Yep.
And genuinely could win the premiership.
Let's see how they go into finals. But they've been definitely more consistent this year than they have in previous year, especially Hipwood.
Definitely. Less just float around the outside of the pack and look for the easy ones.
Hipwood was barely sided in the first half. That third quarter, he came alive. And then he needed to, because Collingwood kicked 3 goals in 14 disposals.
I think so, yes.
It was 3 goals and 13 touches.
Yeah.
Something silly like that. Collingwood were coming hard. And Hipwood stood up. So... do they do it in finals? It remains to be seen. Well, but Brisbane they win this week. They have a golden run to the September 30.
We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Collingwood, Port Adelaide, and Brisbane, and you could probably even throw Melbourne in there. But those 3 definitely all want to play at their home ground. They all need the top. They all want to be first and second, because They want to play at the home ground the whole time and just come to the G at the last minute.
It's hard. Collingwood at their best, a good travelling side, but I think Collingwood's fans will be the number one in the finals. That the amount of that's a 3-4 goal game just from Collingwood's fans.
Yeah, but if you're finishing second, if you're finishing third and Brisbane's finishing second, you've got to go to Brisbane.
You're more scared of going to But Collingwood have generally been a pretty good travelling side. But right now, I fear it more because we're not in form. But yeah, it's a Gabba.
It's more like it's the 8-point swing.
Yeah.
You don't play at your home ground and you have to play at Brisbane's home ground.
True.
So it's kind of like an 8-point swing. I know you're good at
I get you saying that,
all right. West Coast obviously won on the weekend, so North Melbourne get pick 1.
Yes.
They also, now that apparently Ben Mackay could be leaving, she hasn't signed a contract, but probably will, they could get, through compensation, pick 2. Now, there's a few ways to get around this, but I think personally, it's a bit of a statement than a question, there needs to be some formula pushed out some way that gives a consistent understanding for all supporters and clubs. I think maybe the clubs might know a bit more, but for supporters to understand why they get a pick 3, because Ben Mackay is nowhere fucking near a pick 3. Let's be honest here.
No, he's not.
Why do they get pick 3? I know they're a pick 2. Sorry, I know they're a struggling club, but why do they get compensation of pick 2 for a player that is mediocre to average at best?
Yeah, it's bizarre. He's no. Is he even worth a first round pick?
No,
I think he's worth a back. I think he's
late.
worth your 10 to 15, 10 to 20-ish. He's young.
Yeah,
much.
15 to 20. No, he's not youngish.
He is. How old is he? Ben
He's
Mackay.
8. I think he's close to 7 years in the system.
Ben Mackay age. I reckon he's like 25. Fudge.
That's still 7 years in the system.
What a guess. 25.
That's 7 years in the system.
But he's got another 8-9 years of footy left.
Of good footy, or just?
Well, he's not playing good footy now, but 2 years ago he was
Last year.
very good. Or last year, sorry, he was very good. Like he took most intercept marks in the comp. Now was in a terrible side, so he had the most chances. I think in a good system where he can be an intercept marker, I think he's unreal. His issue is he gets
goes
weird.
AWOL.
He just does his own thing. Goes rogue. His ball use is shit, but
He goes off with the fairy sometimes.
But he could be an elite intercept marker, like a second tall, playing with, like for example, in Melbourne, Steve May's number 1 tall, Mackay takes second tall, floats in and gets those intercepts. I think that'd be ideal. Is it pick 2? Fuck no.
No, it's not pick 2.
But it's a first round pick. I think it's like a pick 10 to 12, in my opinion. But what's going to happen is, because the system's a bit flawed, he's going to get offered overs because the intercept defender has become so important that if you don't have one, you're behind. So he's going to get overpaid because he's in a position of need.
And they can rip up his contract 12 months later and sign him to a new deal and spread the money over. So they're going to get their first round compensation of his number 2 pick. And he's probably going to, 12 months after he signs that contract with whatever club he's at, he will sign a new contract and he'll spread the money over the amount of years that he wants. And he'll get his bang on average of probably 700k a year, or 500, 700, that's what they're saying, instead of 800 to $1 million that he'll get in his first year.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly, it's wrong, but I understand that they're playing the system. Brisbane's done this with Essendon. They're playing the system and they can do it. So good on them for finding the loophole and doing that.
Yep.
But it's not pick 2.
No, it's not. It's not a pick 2. It's like a 12, in my opinion.
And they're going to sack Adam Simpson. He's gone and stuffed up
Adam
Eagles.
Simpson, that's a big fuck you to Eagles.
How good is that?
Wins the game. He apparently, I didn't realise, apparently he played Elliot Yeo too many minutes.
Yeah, and pulled a hammy.
Got him injured.
Pulled a hammy.
But yeah, so no, it's not worth pick 2, is it? I do understand it's meant to protect. It protects clubs like North Melbourne that lose their best player and they're in the shit. But it's the other clubs would be annoyed. Like whoever has pick 3, Hawthorn. Is it Hawthorn? Yeah. Would surely be
No, pick 3 will be West Coast and then Hawthorn pick 4.
Before the deal.
Oh yeah, before the deal. Yeah, sorry. Yep.
Hawthorn will get pick 4 now. So like, well, why do we don't do pick 4? We do pick 3.
To be honest with you, the number 2 draft pick in the draft, Jed Walter, is a Gold Coast Academy Suns player. So he's going to go for Gold Coast. So really, they're getting pick 5.
That's stiff. Yeah. No, it's hard.
It's not right.
It needs a tweak, but then what will happen is it'll go the opposite way, and then bad teams will lose their best player for unders.
Well, no, I think they'll just get the amount that they should get.
But then what is the right amount? Because what else, other than contract, Fletcher, what else do you have to go off? Because value is in the eye of the beholder.
No. They'll go off contract, but you can't just then 12 months later rip up the contract and start a new contract again.
But does everyone do that? Is that a new loophole we found?
Well, it's not new because Joe Danaher did it. It was about 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's the first one. Is that the first one though? I don't know.
Yeah, he'd be the first. He's about the first only one that's done it. But there shouldn't be that loophole for that to be done. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. We're not that. We're not in the know when it comes to that stuff. But I don't know. It's hard because you don't want bad sides losing their best player for nothing and being further in the shit. But then it affects other teams. Is the issue.
But they should be going for market rate, not above market rate, so they can get a better pick back. If that makes sense. So he should be going for what another say. The Dogs weren't willing to pay him $800 because he might not rip up his contract. Let's say, yeah, because he might not rip his contract. But Essendon's he's reportedly going to Essendon. They're willing to take the risk to rip up his contract. It should be that they can't rip up the contract, and both clubs are just fighting for whatever they see his worth being.
So I just assumed that was the case, to be honest.
No, so they can say we'll pay you $900, and then 12 months later rip up the contract and pay him 5 years at, I think the minimum's 2 years when they sign a contract, and $800K gets you a first round draft pick.
Offer more security and for a little bit less money.
Yeah,
well, per year.
But that's later on because if you do that now, then they'll get a second round draft pick. So they'll do it now, sign into a big contract, and then 12 months after say, you got to rip that contract up and sign this new one.
It's hard. It's not because it's not an exact science, but yeah, I mean, ideally that kind of loophole doesn't exist, and then sides having to pay way overs, and then you can't help that. But yeah, interesting debate. Sucks
to be Hawthorn and West Coast who are trying to regenerate some talent in the list. Tips, or you want to talk about Supercoach?
I would take it off on Supercoach, but Fantasy Premier League has kind of taken over my... Because we've got no trades left. I am ranked 2.1k. So I scored 25-something. Actually, I can't remember for sure. So I stayed the same. So 2k. I'm in a cash league final, which is nice. So $30 cash league, 18 people. Decent money. So hopefully I win that.
Tips for this week then. Essendon Collingwood Friday night at the G. Big one.
Let's get these fixtures up, eh?
Just told you the fixture.
I'm a bit scared of Collingwood losing, but we got Hill back, DeGoey back. We can't afford to take this lightly because we want to finish on the top. So Collingwood will win.
Collingwood will win there. Hawthorn Fremantle at the G.
Ooh. Hawks.
You're not wrong. Fremantle. Hawks had 2 good
Well,
weeks.
I am wrong then because you went against me. So you are.
I know, but they're the favourite.
Hawthorn the favourite.
Yeah, $1.58 to $2.40.
Wow. Well, I might get on that Freo then. That should be $1.90 each.
North Melbourne Gold Coast.
Ooh,
Bloodstone.
5 people
Tassie.
watching that. Tassie North.
Ooh,
although, actually, no.
They don't want to win.
No, Dimmer getting named. Gold Coast players have a point to prove, or the list cut. They're playing for their spot on the roster. He's so good. Gold Coast because they got something to prove. I guess you say so at North because Alice.
They don't want number 1 pick though.
Actually, yeah, you're right. North.
They want number 1 pick.
Yeah, actually, no, Gold Coast then. Yeah, true.
I don't think North will be wanting to lose this one.
Wanting to win it. Yeah, no, you're right. No, Gold Coast. Thank you for that.
Brisbane St Kilda at the Grabatoir.
Brisbane.
Yeah, Brisbane. Unfortunately, St Kilda's defense has been good, but this Brisbane side will get 1 quarter
it's
of...
like 9-0 at the Gabba.
Yeah, I know. The game no one gives a shit about, Geelong versus Western Bulldogs.
Dogs, because Geelong are resting everyone. Geelong are trying... So they want Bevo in, so they're trying to get Doggies to the finals to keep him.
They could have 7 out this week.
Confirmed no Hawkins and Cameron. So as soon as I saw that, Dogs.
To be fair, Dogs will probably lose that anyway. West Coast Eagles versus Adelaide.
Adelaide will win this by 150 points.
They might even just lose this to...
Texas... they should just not rock up.
Yeah, not rock up.
Can Tex win the Coleman still?
We probably should talk about that next week, but he can.
Because we're saying need to get within 5. I haven't really been tracking it. I don't think he can. But yeah, Crows will win that pretty comfortably. Tex will kick a big bag.
They'll feed it to him.
They will feed it to him. Yeah.
Port Adelaide, Richmond.
Port.
Yeah, Port.
At the G, it's a different debate, but.
Oh no, Richmond's been shit.
Too fashy. Richmond have checked out.
Richmond more than checked out.
They've checked out.
Jack Revolt and Trent Cotchin retired this week, but they should have retired about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Along with their team.
Everyone.
Swans versus Melbourne.
This is a good game of footy.
Yeah, I like this.
This is a good game of footy. Trying to think what result I want here. Let me look at the ladder real quick. But I think.
What do you think? Not what do you want?
No. Both Sydney already made finals. So
who do you think the favourite is in this game?
Ooh, I reckon because in Sydney it should be $1.90 each. But I'm going to say D slight favourite.
No, wrong. $2 to $1.85.
Because Melbourne, I mean, Port Adelaide lose. Melbourne really can't go up unless Port lose. So both sides can Sydney go up or down? Sydney can go up.
Sydney definitely go up.
I mean, can't lose. Sydney can go up to 5th. Wow, I didn't realise that. Then Sydney took D's. Sorry, I had to wait to get that answer out of me. D's will win that. But gee, that's gonna be a nail biter, Fletch.
I believe the D's will win that one, and then I reckon the best game in the round, Carlton versus GWS.
This is the best game, so
Yep.
I'd have the Swans D's out of that. But
Sam Taylor against Kerno is gonna be one of the great matchups.
Oh boy, do you think he plays on Kerno or Mackay?
Yeah, he plays. He normally plays. Oh,
Mackay.
he does. He's not a floater. He doesn't play on
That's the thing. He doesn't play on the second time of float. He goes 1-on-1.
I think he goes Kerno.
I think he has to after the way Kerno's been playing.
Yeah.
Carlton won't lose.
Is that Marvel?
Yeah.
Does it help either of the sides? Not really.
It helps Carlton, you think? I don't know.
I want to go Carlton win this.
Carlton win.
Good game though.
Yes.
For a 3-10er.
No, it's not 3-10.
I don't know what it was. But it was Sunday.
That's Sunday.
It was Sunday.
6-10. What a weird time.
Shit. Oh, that's right, because they want to overlap. No overlaps.
Oh,
that'll finish at like.
why would you? What's no overlap?
Like instead of having.
Oh, because in case from now binding finish that you know that.
Because they were expecting Adelaide to win last week. Yeah, the goal umpire do his job, and then suddenly everyone could change position.
Oh, like last year, yeah, true. That's a weird time. I'm worried that I'll be dead rubber.
They got Port Adelaide at 12:30. They're literally playing in the morning. Like it's like
they are literally kicking the jaw off the ground. If you're saying it all year, Fletch, you actually legit. They're actually kicking the jaw off the ground. I think you didn't, the one time they actually kicked the jaw off the ground, you didn't use it. Can Giants? Is there a chance it could be a dead rubber? Oh no, Giants are in the 8. So Giants are playing for a spot in the 8. So that So that'll be.
If they win, the Dogs can't make it. If they lose, the Dogs can make it.
So I was thinking, is there any chance that game is irrelevant? But no.
If the Dogs lose Saturday night, then it's irrelevant.
Actually, only thing is it might affect Carlton's position.
Yeah, that's about the thing.
Okay, so I don't want Dogs to make finals because they don't deserve it. But also at the same time, it makes it interesting if they do win. So, yes, who knows? But
you went with Carlton, didn't you?
I did go Carlton. Yeah, I did go Carlton.
Another good episode from you.
That was an action-packed one. That's gone for almost an hour. So almost 2 hours. Almost
15 minutes.
Now, we have to talk about it. We'll probably talk about off the thing. All Australian teams. When are we doing that? I'm assuming when the squad has to come out first before we do it.
We'll do it in the bye week.
It comes out during the bye week, doesn't it? I think it comes out.
We'll get in before them.
Problem is we have to see what the squad is. We want to see the squad before we name our team. Because I think last year what we did was, well, last time I did it, I looked at the 40 and do it from the 40.
Yeah, I think we did that last
year. So
year.
it might have to be. Yeah, remember it was an issue last year because it came out the end of the week.
The night before.
So it came at the end of the week. So our issue was. We want to save the second week for the previews, but I did all. Yeah, because we made a separate episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I have to it'll be a second week thing, I reckon.
We'll see what we do there.
Yeah, excited for that though. I mean, it's always like making more Australian team.
Got any guests to come on for the finals?
No,
episode?
Marcus wants to. I reckon we get Corey.
I reckon I've got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you off.
We'll have one during one per week. We're at 3 weeks. 3 mics, so kind of has to be. But I reckon we have one per week, and then we build up to Marcus on the grand final.
Yeah.
I reckon Marcus on the grand final one.
Marcus on the grand final one?
Yep, I think so. I haven't asked him, but he's doing it. Marcus, you're in.
If the Bombers are... No, sorry. Can't be.
I think Marcus, just because I think he's the most beloved
Very good too.
member. He's good areas, and he'll bring his pub test quiz trivia. It'll be grand final edition. So yeah, I think. But I like that.
All right, another good episode from you.
You too, my friend.
Not a bad performance from yourself.
Always. I always deliver. Call me the mailman, as Martin would say. Although you never get excited. You should never get excited about my good performances because the mailman always delivers. So you should have expected by now. So.
Well, you let yourself down in that little bit there.
End it there, Fletch.
See you next time.
See you later.